Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Collingwood for YouTube. Resident underslash of underslash Collingwood for BitChute. I'm here to do my final video for today. Is Josiah Trelawney the strange man in Red Dead Redemption? You know, I've played Red Dead Redemption 2 and I've met Josiah Trelawney as Arthur Morgan. And let me say this, I think that's the one thing we need to start with Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, in Red Dead Redemption, you don't play as Arthur Morgan. You play as John Marston. Or as he calls himself in Red Dead Redemption 2, even Jim Milton. But you more play as John Marston. He calls himself John Marston more in Red Dead Redemption. Now, John Marston was a part of the Dutch van der Linde gang, as was Arthur Morgan. Now, where does that connect? Well, you play as Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2, and Arthur saved John's life. He got John out of the game, in a sense. So, there's that. Now, in the gang was a man named Josiah Trelawney. And who was Josiah? Well, that's sort of the question. Josiah Trelawney is just that. He's just a name. It makes me think of the name Tatius Kilgore that the gang used as an alias. But was Josiah Trelawney ever really his real name? Is that did you know that was his real name? Even Dutch and Jose in Red Dead Redemption 2 sort of hint that he just appears out of nowhere, and he really does. There's only one time you actually save his life, and that's when he gets captured by a gang of bounty hunters, or Pinkertons, if you will, bounty hunters more or less, and he gets tortured. So he can feel physical pain. He gets beat up, he gets his face messed up a little bit. Now, from a John Marston standpoint, you don't have much. John Marston has very little to no reaction with Josiah Trelawney in Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, where does that come into play in Red Dead Redemption, you might ask? Well, you meet a man called the Strange Man in Red Dead Redemption, where missions called I Know You. And these side missions are strange, and this man is basically profiting your death. I mean, throughout the game. And some have specified that the strange man is death himself, meaning Josiah Trelawney, if he is indeed the strange man, is death himself. I mean, Josiah Trelawney does follow the gang pretty much everywhere they go, even in Blackwater where they were. And every member of the gang does eventually die. The only ones we know are left alive for sure, save the Adler, and the other one, I forget his name, Charles, I believe. But so there's two gang members probably alive, unless the strange man coming up with them. But is the strange man Josiah Trelawney? Well, let's look at Trelawney himself. Trelawney appears almost out of nowhere with information you're not sure exactly how he got it. He does do a lot of things for the gang, but those things he does keeps getting them into the frames of attentions from the law. It does get the money, mind you. Look at saving Sean, which Sean does eventually die. So, do I feel Trelawney is the strange man? I do in a lot of ways, and here's what I really take away from Josiah the most. If he is indeed the strange man. Not saying he is. That's my opinion that I think he is. To me, Josiah Trelawney, is he a magician? That's what you gotta ask yourself. Everything Josiah Trelawney said to you could be a perplexed lie. The one thing I take away from Trelawney the most, though, Trelawney more sat back and viewed the camp as a whole. When he looked at the camp, he looked at every individual and every person. And that's how, look, Josiah isn't the only person to leave camp. Tilly Jackson leaves camp. Um, a bunch of people leave the camp before shit goes really bad, right? They leave the gang. Josiah is the only one who sort of seeks permission to leave. And the person he gets it from is actually Arthur Morgan, of all people. Arthur gives him his blessing to leave the gang. Josiah Trelawney knew shit was about to go bad. But what makes Josiah Trelawney exempt from wrath of the law? Because keep in mind, Josiah Trelawney, he wasn't necessarily arrested for being in the gang. He was arrested and put in a cart for something else from the people of the road sheriff, Sheriff Gray. Now, you get him out without an incident because you make a deal with the sheriff. He's okay. Trelawney is okay. And so they let him go. But what I take away from, another thing I take away from the Trelawney character as well is he only has one actual home that you know of, and that's a home in New Orleans. And when you visit there, something strange does go on, or Saint Denis, but it's modern. It's New Orleans in a sense. When you visit his home, you hear a strange interaction with him and his family. But when you go back there after he leaves the gang, everyone's gone. Where did they go? Did Trelawney murder them all? Here's my other thing I take away. Trelawney knew how to make a deal. Did Trelawney make a deal with the devil to be the new Grim Reaper? And I gotta believe he did. Trelawney himself is just strange. So it wouldn't be shocking that he is the strange man. I gotta believe he is, and that's my opinion, that Josiah Trelawney is the strange man. So, I'll see you guys.